Peace, y'all. It's Sister Alexis. So, all of my videos stem from questions that people have sent me messages about and want to know more information. One of the questions that I get asked a lot over the years is about vaccines. Do I vaccinate? Is a big one. And no, I do not vaccinate. I have not vaccinated any of my children. And my eldest is 13 and my youngest is 10, and they have not been vaccinated. Two of them go to public school. They've all been in public school before and never had any vaccines. How? Is the next question. It's because I claim religious exemption. It doesn't have to be any particular religion. They are not allowed to judge you on that. And I write up a religious exemption form, which if anyone needs help with that, I do have a gig. I can send you the link, or I can put the link actually in the comment section, and you can go to my gig. If you need an exemption form, I can help you out with that. It's a very minimal fee for the gig. And if I know you, I can also notarize it for you. You will need a notary for it. Mostly from what I've experienced, they've been in about 4 or 5 different schools and they had to have it notarized for every school. So you might as well get it notarized. If I know you, I can do that for you. Um, so yeah. I will say though, in terms of the pediatrician, what has happened there? We have gotten kicked out of probably 3 or 4 different pediatricians have been asked to leave. At one point, there was a doctor, a pediatrician that I loved. She was from Westchester, New York, and she moved to the Hudson Valley. And she came from a clinic that most of the children did not get vaccinated. But once she moved to the Hudson Valley, the practices rules basically stated that all of their patients needed to get vaccinated. That was not something I was going to do. She did share it with me. She said if it was up to her, that she would love to keep us, but she was not able to if we did not get vaccinated, and said that we could not come back on our next visit if I didn't get my daughter vaccinated. And they really do pressure you. At one point, I would get really upset. And so at the time, my husband would always come with me because I felt not that I would submit to them, but I felt like I would end up like lashing out at her. And so he would come with me to every visit. And it was one visit that he just couldn't come. And we really had to prep. We had to prep what I was going to say to this woman because I kept getting so much pressure. And she just kept hounding me every single visit. Like, do you know this? And do you know that? And although I know that it's her responsibility and she felt like it was something that she needed to do for my benefit, but I also know that for every child that gets vaccinated, the practice gets money from the pharmaceutical company. So I didn't feel like she did it because she loved us and she really cared for my child. I feel like it was indoctrination for her based on what she learned in school. So she felt like this was really valid. She didn't know, no doctor really knows unless they have continuing education of some sort about herbs and other forms of protecting yourself instead of vaccines. So we got kicked out of the 3 or 4 pediatricians, and I really didn't care. After getting kicked out of the first one, it was like, okay, bye, see ya. It was no problem for me. And it was frustrating, though. Don't get me wrong. It was frustrating. And what I later found out is if you're not going to get your child vaccinated, you don't need to go there every some odd months. You need to go there once a year for a well visit, and that's all you need. That's all you're required. No one can call CPS on you because you're not getting vaccines. As long as you have your religious exemption, which the doctor doesn't ever need to see anyway, you just need to say it. You can have a conversation about it, and that's it. If you are in a pediatrician where they keep hounding you, that's not a place where you want to be anyway. You want to be around people who support your decisions. And if the pediatrician does not support your decision, it's not a place that you want to be anyway, right? That's just like, being around somebody who doesn't like that you eat healthy. Like, why would you be around them if they don't support you? It doesn't make any sense. And so, how did they go to school? Let me go back to that, just to be clear, to make sure that I was clear. As long as you have a religious exemption, your child has a recent physical, you should be fine on that note. And again, I can put my information in the comment section. You can also make a comment if you have any questions in regards to a religious exemption. Some states do not allow it, do not recognize it. I wanted to move to California, and then when I found that out, I was like, done. That is not a state that recognizes religious exemption any longer. Let's see. Did they get sick? Yes, they got sick. We were fortunate enough to have their grandmother is a Chinese herbalist and acupuncturist. So we were fortunate at a very young age, they were able to receive acupuncture. So I really do believe that helped them with their immunity. Also, I do believe that similar to vaccines, but a natural course, that when they get sick, that also does build their immunity. I just believe that vaccine's slightly different because now you're adding chemicals into the mix versus allowing the body to do what it needs to do on a natural cause, on a natural journey. Let's see. What do you do to keep the immune system healthy now? So, making sure that we do plant-based foods as natural as possible, doing your flushes and detoxes for them depending on their age, teaching them how to fast at a very young age to me is really important too. And so that's something that we take advantage of and seems to work for us. They have never had a flu or anything like that beyond like a small cough and cold, nothing else. And that is really all the questions that I tend to get on vaccines. Did I vaccinate? How did my children go to school? Did they get sick? What do you do to keep the immune system healthy? Did I answer that fully? Yes, in addition to herbs as well, herbs, juice, and smoothies. Did the doctor say anything? Yeah, they asked us to leave the practice if we were not going to vaccinate the children. So finding a clinic, even if you have to. Sometimes people don't like to go to clinics, but they're more inclined to support your decision. You will have like a mix of people from like very poor people to not so poor people, but who cares? You're there. You need to get your child the care that they need to get. The doctors are still the same, of the same caliber. So who cares? Go to the clinic, get your child a physical, a well visit, move on. You're only, like I said, you only have to go once a year. And let me think if there's anything else. I do want to note, I would not just say I'm not going to get my child vaccinated and that's the end of it. You really have to support your child, although I do believe that the body has its own natural immunity. And you don't have to necessarily have to give your child all different types of things, but if you feel like you need to, especially if you're going out of the country, herbs and supplements, acupuncture, they are important and they are helpful. So I can't say that they aren't. We use them. I'm off and on. Sometimes I use supplements, sometimes I don't. I just use liquid herbs basically, like versus a herb in a pill form is what I mean. So because I feel that I know that gets to the bloodstream quicker. So I find anything that's liquid vitamins, if you decide to use them, that's the best route. Make sure that they're organic and that they come from whole foods, and you should be fine from there. Just know the source of the vitamin, but definitely consider allowing your child to have some form of herbs in their system, getting acupuncture, and also being clean. Like, you know, children are like dirty. You know, they love dirt. And some people believe that also keeps their immune system in good standings by allowing them to just be dirty and eat stuff and so on and so forth, and let them be children as they are. So I'm not knocking that. That actually worked for us too. So yeah. I hope this is helpful for you. And if you have any other questions, feel free. Sorry, I'm getting sleepy. Feel free to put it in the comments section, and I will be sure to respond. Peace. Have a wonderful wellness night.